In this video, because it's Labor Day, before I explain what we'll be doing today in this video, I want to say Happy Labor Day. Hope you have a very good Labor Day weekend. And so today, as my Labor Day present for you, today we're going to do a new show. Sounds exciting, right? So I've got these cool issues over here that each issue of the month, for example, this month is September, so I just earned a September issue. Each issue, it talks about the composer of the month, and you learn more about it. And that really sounds exciting, so I really want to make a new show, and I really want to show you these cool issues. Alright? So I have this September issue over here, and I will each time if we say and the composer of the month is, we drum roll. So, for example, today I'm going to present you the composer of the month, September. And the composer of the month is, drum roll please, and then that composer, okay? And because I already showed you the drum roll please part, I will tell you the composer of the month right away. And it is Johann Sebastian Bach. Yes, this is the Clavier's Piano Explorer issue that I have. I have tons of other ones like a few years ago. So, yes. So, let's get started. Okay. Johann Sebastian Bach. Born in 1685, died in 1750. Johann Sebastian Bach was one of the most important composers who ever lived. Bach was born in 1685 during the Baroque period of music. Bach held many jobs during his long life, including music director for churches and positions working for wealthy noblemen. Life was very different in 1685 when J.S. Bach was born. There were no electricity, so composers wrote music by candlelight at night. Homes had no running water, even in cities. People traveled by horse, carriage, or walking. Many people died of diseases that today are easily cured with antibiotics or prevented by vaccines. In Bach's time, people also had fewer choices about what careers they would follow. Often they had the same jobs as their fathers. This was the case for one of the most famous composers of all time, J.S. Bach. The entire Bach family was very musical. It included many famous and important musicians and composers. We know of about 80 musicians in the Bach family who lived and played music in cities across Germany between 1550 and 1800. Johann Sebastian was born in Eisenach, Germany, and was the 8th and youngest child of the trumpeter Johann Ambrosius Bach. And this is Bach's father, right over here. This is him. Okay. Bach's music education began in early childhood with lessons from his father and uncles, who were also professional musicians. Both of Bach's parents died when he was 9, so J.S. went to live with his uncle Johann Christoph Bach. Okay, so who was an organist in a nearby town. He taught Bach how to play the organ and other keyboard instruments. A few years later, Bach received a scholarship to an important school to sing in its choir. After he completed school, Bach had several jobs as a church organist before he found a steady job as a church organist in the town of Arnstadt. Although Bach was a very talented musician, he often had trouble working for others because he had strong opinions about music and did not like to be told what to do. One time, he traveled 300 miles to hear a concert by a famous organist named Dietrich Buxtehude. He had permission to be gone for a month and walked most of the way. He had such a good time that he stayed there for 3 months. This got him in trouble. Shortly after that, Bach took a job at another church, where again he became frustrated with his boss. Bach again wanted to write complicated works, but the pastor only allowed simple music in the church. Despite these problems, Bach soon became a well-known musician in Germany. He was often asked to test new organs in different towns. This meant that he would play several recitals to show off the new instrument, testing all of the keyboards, pedals, and stops. Bach would usually make up the music he made, creating long pieces on the spot. In 1708, he left his church job and went to work for the Duke of Weimar. At Weimar, Bach composed a lot of keyboard music and taught many students. After a few years passed, Bach decided he wanted to leave and work for a different nobleman, Prince Leopold. This time, Bach had some trouble switching jobs. The Duke of Weimar did not want Bach to leave, and Bach had to get his permission. The Duke was quite furious about this and put Bach in jail for asking to quit for 5 or few months. After Weimar, Bach became the Kapellmeister, music director for Prince Leopold in a town called Anhalt-Köthen. Prince Leopold had a great appreciation for Bach's talents as a composer and let him write whatever he wanted. Some of Bach's best music was written during this period, including the famous Brandenburg concertos. Although the prince was a good employer, he got married to a woman who did not like his music. And Bach decided to find work elsewhere again. Bach spent the rest of his life at his next job as the music director of the St. Thomas Church in Leipzig, Germany. This was an important and difficult position. Bach organized and composed the music for 4 churches and taught singing, choir, and music theory at the St. Thomas School for Boys. Even here, Bach had difficulty with authority and often had problems with his employer, the Leipzig City Council. He was not their first choice for the job. It was George Philip Telemann, and he had turned it down. They often treated him with little respect and did not give him the resources he needed. Despite this, his years in Leipzig were very productive. He wrote a great deal of music, including many cantatas and other music for church services. A cantata is a vocal work with several sections. Bach often wrote them for 4 soloists and a choir accompanied by a small orchestra, an organ, or harpsichord. He also wrote solo cantatas for 1 singer. During his first few years in Leipzig, Bach wrote a new cantata every week and composed over 300 in just a few years. There are some of Bach's most famous and important works. The students at his school sang these cantatas at church services and usually had only a few days to learn the music. And this is the school over here, St. Thomas Church, right over here. Okay. Now we're going to talk about Bach's music. Bach wrote a great amount of music over the course of his life. Today we still have more than 1,000 Bach compositions, and he probably wrote many more than that. Over the time, some of the music Bach composed was lost. The Brandenburg concertos. While concertos written in later years usually are played by just one instrument, Bach's 6 Brandenburg concertos are performed by a group of instruments. Each one uses a group of several soloists accompanied by a small ensemble. They use unusual combinations of soloists and are some of Bach's most enjoyable pieces. He wrote them and sent them to the Margrave of Brandenburg to try to convince him to give Bach a job. It did not work, and the works may not have even been performed until after Bach's death. Instead, he went on to work in Leipzig for the remaining years of his life. Today, these concertos are usually played by a small chamber orchestra. The Well-Tempered Clavier. This is a set of 24 preludes and fugues, written in every major and minor key. Pianists often study and perform these pieces, cantatas. These are pieces Bach wrote for church services. He composed a new cantata each week, and he also wrote them for special ceremonies. In all, Bach probably wrote more than 300 cantatas. More than 100 of these are believed to be lost, but over 200 have survived. Unaccompanied suites for cello. Bach wrote 6 suites to be played by cello alone. Each suite is in a different key and consists of movements named after dances such as the gavotte or sarabande. Bach's children. Bach was married twice. He first married his second son, Maria Barbara Bach, and they had 7 children together. Unfortunately, Maria Barbara died, so Bach later married a singer, Anna Magdalena. Her name is familiar to pianists because of the Anna Magdalena Bach notebook, a book given to her by J.S. Bach that was filled with compositions written by Bach, family members, and other composers. Bach and Anna Magdalena had 13 children. Between his 2 wives, Bach had 20 children, although some of them died young. Medical care was poor in the 1600s, and many people died young of illnesses and injuries. 4 of Bach's sons became musicians, and 2 were very successful. Carl Philipp Emanuel Bach, which is over here. Him, okay, wrote keyboard sonatas and concertos, and Johann Christian Bach, which is here, moved to London, where he became a famous composer of operas, keyboard pieces, and symphonies. Okay, during Bach's lifetime, he was well regarded as a music teacher and performer, but his compositions were mostly forgotten after his death in 1750. Although most musicians like Mozart and Beethoven admired his compositions, his music was not performed often. This changed during the 1800s when the Romantic composer Felix Mendelssohn, he's over here, organized the performance of Bach's St. Matthew's Passion, a large work for choir and orchestra. Audiences rediscovered Bach's music, and today, along with Mozart and Beethoven, Bach is one of the most famous composers in history, all because of Mendelssohn. Okay, before we end this video, I want to tell you some musical jokes. Fun. Okay, first joke. Question: what do instruments use when they get hurt? I'll give you 15 seconds to solve. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, and the answer is Band-Aid. Next joke. Question: why did Bach's music need to be fixed? I'll give you 15 seconds. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. The answer is it was Baroque. Broke. Funny, eh? Okay, last joke. Question: what did the musician say when someone pushed him in line? I'll give you 15 seconds. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the answer is Back off! Ha ha ha! And that is all for our video. So don't miss a video in October 1st, hopefully. We will talk about another composer in the month October. So see you there. Bye.